Hello everyone and welcome. This is going to be my submission for the 8th assignment for Fundamentals of Game Engine Design. And this project was all about terrains and utilizing terrains with PhysX. To go over kind of what my goal was for this project, I would like to revisit assignment 5, which was all about objects and bringing in external models into the engine that we're working with, utilizing like ASIMP and other external libraries. One of the issues that I ran into was trying to export this model that you're looking at right here, trying to export it at full resolution out of this software called World Creator, results in a file size that's quite large. So you can see it's right around 2 gigabytes in size, and this is a full export at full resolution of this model, and that is without any texture data. So it's quite a large file. And as expected, ASIMP had some issues trying to import this model due to the large size and the number of vertices that it was trying to deal with. So for this assignment, since this software does allow you to export a model as a TIFF, I thought I might try and import this model into Afterburner and see if I was able to get any higher resolution model to import compared to the size of the model that I was able to import through an object file into Afterburner. So in this interface, they allow you to give a latitude and longitude of where this piece of land that you generated is located at, and how large each pixel is in relative or in relation to latitude and longitudinal degrees. So I set this to be 0.15 and 0.15 so that it was right around the equator, and to set the degrees of each pixel to be as small as possible, and just exported it out of here. So if we go into OpenEV and we look at the TIFF that was exported, this is what it looks like. And as you can see, the degrees, latitudinal, longitudinal degrees are displayed correctly, and the upper left-hand corner is right around 0.15, which is what I was going for, because that will make the math and rotating the model to actually be perspective a lot easier than placing it on any other arbitrary location on the Earth. So to import this into Afterburner, I exported this as a GTIFF out of this, and with a scale to its resolution. I tried a full, a half, and a fourth. And I also tried importing the full-size raw TIFF that I exported directly out of World Creator. On many of these larger sizes, like full resolution and half, or full and really anything larger than half resolution, results in running out of memory on the system. And like the full resolution model did end up taking around 24 gigabytes worth of RAM and just got stuck trying to process that large model. However, I was able to import a half size. So if we look at this in comparison, you can see that the details of the little dunes here is still somewhat visually identical in some ways compared to a low resolution model, which, if memory serves correctly, these were much smoother on the model that I was able to import with an object file, which that size was 1/16 of the original resolution, whereas this is 1/2. So there is a lot more detail with this model. However, this did pose some issues when trying to incorporate this with PhysX. But as of now, if we shoot some spheres at this, see that they bounce off of each other. I thought that was kind of fun. And they do interact with the surface and bounce off the surface in different ways. And since this is a piece of land that has sand on it in the middle of space, I made gravity very light, so these kind of just float around and bounce off the surface as if it was in space. So one of the issues that I ran into with this actually was with the low resolution nature of these models and the large space that I was trying to cover with this model. the original spheres that I based this off of were from the little shooter game that I've been working with throughout this semester for the different projects. And the spheres were quite small. When you use a small sphere and have it intersect with a model that has a lot of large facets on it, PhysX will sometimes miss that detection, as we covered in class. However, I didn't really process this at first. So my spheres were phasing through the surface of the model, and I wasn't quite able to figure out why until I made them slightly bigger. And now they collide fine. I believe with a higher resolution model, this issue might have been alleviated and allow a smaller sphere or smaller object size, but it does work just fine this way. And really, I don't have the memory to load in, or memory and time to load in a full high resolution model from this surface. After finishing that recording, I realized that I was still using a debug 1/4 size model in that video, so I switched this over to the 1/2 size. And as you can see, there's a lot more detail present in the model compared to the quarter size. And you can also see that it takes quite a bit longer and more memory to load this model. But just to show real quick, demonstrate, it still does work correctly with PhysX, and things do correctly collide with the surface. I will say that the Afterburner is capable of importing much larger models using height fields and TIFFs rather than an actual object file, which is absolutely great, especially for software that is able to export in this format. The only thing that is a little funky is that this side right here is leaning a little bit to the right. If we look at this original model, it doesn't really have that same characteristic lean as it does here. That could be a result of converting it through the OpenEV software, or with how it is interpreted as a EV TIFF compared to an actual object file. But either way, it does look pretty great at a higher resolution rather than 1/16 size through an object file. So now that's about it. So thanks for watching.